Chosen one. If you've been feeling distant from people lately, emotionally exhausted for no clear reason, and suddenly losing connection with things that once felt normal, Archangel Michael says this is not happening by accident. God is separating you for a reason. And before this message ends, you're going to understand why certain people had to leave your life, why your spirit has been under attack, and what heaven is preparing behind the scenes right now. Stay with me carefully, because the final part of this message may explain everything you've been feeling lately. Chosen one, stop scrolling for a moment. Not later, not after another video. Right now. Archangel Michael did not allow these words to reach your spirit by accident tonight. There is something heaven needs you to hear before this season of your life changes completely. Take one slow breath. Let your mind become still for a moment. Feel the silence around you. Feel the shift happening inside your spirit even now. Michael says that feeling is not coincidence. That is your soul recognizing truth. Chosen one, heaven has been watching the pressure you have been carrying silently. People around you may see your smile, your routines, your normal conversations, but they do not see the emotional warfare happening inside your spirit every night. They do not see the exhaustion, the overthinking, the emotional heaviness, the hidden loneliness, but heaven sees it all. Archangel Michael says the reason you feel different lately is because your spirit is changing. You are entering a season where God can no longer allow certain people, habits, and distractions to remain attached to your life. Listen carefully. The separation happening around you is not punishment. It is protection. Some people were connected to your comfort but not connected to your calling. And when God begins preparing a chosen one for elevation, separation always comes before transformation. That is why certain conversations suddenly feel empty now. That is why drama exhausts you faster than before. That is why crowded rooms feel heavy on your spirit. Michael says your soul is becoming spiritually sensitive again. Things you once tolerated easily now disturb your peace. Fake energy affects you differently. Hidden jealousy becomes easier to sense. You no longer feel comfortable pretending everything is fine just to keep others comfortable. Chosen one, this is not weakness. This is discernment growing inside you. Archangel Michael says heaven is teaching you to protect your spirit because your next season requires peace, clarity, and emotional discipline. And the enemy knows it. Listen carefully to this warning. The enemy cannot stop the purpose God placed on your life. That battle was already lost long ago. But what darkness tries to do now is emotionally exhaust you before your breakthrough arrives. That sudden argument, that painful memory returning at night, that unexpected message that ruined your peace, that emotional trigger you thought you already healed from. Michael says none of it is random. The enemy studies emotional wounds carefully. He searches for the exact fear, rejection, or insecurity still hiding inside your heart. Because if he can provoke your emotions, he can distract your focus. But heaven sent this message tonight to remind you of something important. You do not have to react to everything anymore. Chosen one, there was a time when every misunderstanding controlled your emotions. You defended yourself constantly. You explained yourself constantly. You fought to be understood by people who had already decided not to understand you. But God changed something inside you recently. Now you pause before reacting. Now you walk away from unnecessary battles. Now silence feels stronger than arguments. Michael says this calmness is spiritual growth. Some people are uncomfortable around the new version of you because they can no longer control your emotions the way they once did. Your silence confuses them. Your peace irritates chaos. Your distance exposes hidden intentions. And some people secretly miss the old version of you because that version was easier to manipulate emotionally. But Archangel Michael says this clearly tonight. Do not go backwards just to make others comfortable. You have changed for a reason. Chosen one, heaven is rebuilding your inner world right now. That process feels lonely before it feels powerful. You may feel disconnected from certain people lately. You may feel emotionally tired after small conversations. You may even feel isolated without understanding why. But Michael says this isolation is sacred, because God removes noise when he wants a chosen one to hear his voice clearly again. Not every closed door is rejection. Not every loss is punishment. Sometimes heaven separates you from environments that were slowly draining your spirit. And deep down, you already know this is true. You can feel that some relationships have changed permanently. You can feel that your soul no longer belongs in certain places. You can feel that your spirit is craving peace more than attention. That is not depression. That is transformation. Chosen one, something powerful is happening behind the scenes right now, even if you cannot fully see it yet. Michael says heaven is exposing what no longer belongs in your future. Some delays protected you from entering wrong doors too early. Some disappointments redirected your path quietly. Some separations saved your spirit from hidden destruction you never saw coming. And one day soon, everything will make sense. You will realize why certain people disappeared. You will understand why God said no to certain opportunities. You will finally see why this lonely season was necessary for your growth. Because where heaven is taking you next, chaos cannot follow. Listen carefully, chosen one. Your peace is becoming your protection now. And the enemy is frustrated because you no longer react the way you used to. The emotional traps no longer work as easily. The manipulation no longer controls your spirit. Your discernment has become stronger than your desire to keep everyone happy. That is spiritual authority developing inside you. Michael says stillness is not weakness. Stillness is wisdom under control. Some victories happen silently. Some breakthroughs happen when you refuse to argue. Some miracles begin the moment you finally protect your peace. Chosen one, before this message continues, hear this carefully. The emotional heaviness you've been carrying will not last forever. A new season is approaching. A season of clarity. A season of alignment. A season where everything heaven separated you from will finally make sense. But before God opens those new doors, your spirit must first be separated from confusion, chaos, and emotional distraction. And that is exactly what heaven has been doing. Archangel Michael says, "Do not fear the separation. It is preparing you for elevation." If this message is already speaking directly to your spirit, stay until the next part. Because Michael is about to reveal the hidden spiritual attack happening around chosen ones right now, and why your silence has become dangerous to the enemy. Chosen one, listen carefully. Archangel Michael says the greatest battle happening around you right now is not physical. It is spiritual, and the enemy has been trying to reach your spirit through your emotions. That is why small things suddenly feel heavier lately. A simple conversation drains you. A small disappointment affects you deeply. A random memory returns out of nowhere at night. Michael says this is not coincidence. Darkness studies emotional wounds carefully. The enemy remembers the pain you never fully spoke about. He remembers the rejection that changed your confidence. He remembers the betrayal that damaged your trust. And when your breakthrough gets closer, those old emotions suddenly try to return again. Because the enemy knows something important. If he can control your emotions, he can distract your focus. That is why certain people suddenly reappear when you finally start healing. That is why old situations return right before peace enters your life. That is why confusion increases whenever heaven is preparing you for growth. Chosen one, hear this carefully tonight. Not everyone around you is fighting you intentionally. Some people unknowingly carry chaos, jealousy, fear, and heaviness into your atmosphere. Their words may sound normal, but your spirit feels disturbed afterward. Michael says your discernment has increased. Before, you ignored these feelings. Now your soul notices everything. You can feel hidden tension. You can sense fake intentions. You can recognize energy that does not match your spirit anymore. And honestly, this change scares some people, because your silence now reveals things your old emotional reactions used to hide. Chosen one, there was a time when people could easily pull reactions out of you. Anger, frustration, emotional explanations. But heaven has been teaching you restraint, and restraint is power. Archangel Michael says, every reaction you refuse to give weakens the enemy's influence over your spirit. Think about that carefully. The enemy expected you to explode emotionally, but you stayed calm. People expected arguments, but you walked away quietly. Others expected access to your emotions, But heaven taught you boundaries, and now they no longer understand you. Michael says your peace disturbs chaos because calm people cannot be manipulated easily. That is why your spirit feels tired around drama now. Your soul has outgrown emotional confusion. You no longer have energy to prove your worth constantly. You no longer feel called to defend yourself against every misunderstanding. And that is growth. Chosen one, stop blaming yourself for changing. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming spiritually aware. There is a difference. Coldness pushes people away because of pain. Discernment creates distance because of wisdom. Michael says heaven is teaching you to guard your spirit carefully in this season because where God is taking you next requires emotional stability. The next level of your life cannot be entered with constant emotional chaos attached to your soul. So heaven has been separating you slowly. Some friendships faded. Some connections became uncomfortable. Some environments no longer feel peaceful. And part of you keeps wondering, why do I suddenly feel so alone? Michael says, because transformation often begins in isolation. A seed grows underground before anyone sees the fruit. And chosen ones are often separated before elevation because heaven must rebuild them privately before revealing them publicly. This lonely season is not permanent. It is preparation. Right now, heaven is teaching you how to protect your energy, control your emotions, and recognize spiritual attacks before they enter your spirit deeply. Chosen one, listen carefully to this next part. The enemy becomes nervous when a chosen one learns silence. Because silence breaks manipulation. When you stop reacting emotionally, confusion loses power over you. When you stop explaining yourself constantly, people can no longer control your peace. When you choose calmness over chaos, spiritual attacks begin failing. Michael says, your stillness is becoming spiritual warfare, and that is why darkness keeps trying to provoke you emotionally, through offense, through delays, through misunderstandings, through people who suddenly change around you. But heaven is saying tonight, do not lose your peace trying to defend yourself everywhere. Some battles are distractions designed to delay your purpose. Chosen one, you are entering a season where protecting your spirit matters more than protecting your image. Not everyone deserves access to your heart anymore. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every misunderstanding deserves a response. And that truth is setting you free slowly. Archangel Michael says something powerful is approaching your life now. A shift, a breakthrough, a new level of peace you have not experienced in a long time. But before heaven opens those doors completely, your spirit must first become stronger than emotional distraction. That is why the season feels so intense. You are not being destroyed. You are being refined. And one day soon, you will thank God for every separation that protected your soul from what was secretly draining your destiny. Stay here carefully, chosen one. Because in part 3, Archangel Michael is going to reveal why people suddenly act strange around chosen ones before a major breakthrough, and the hidden reason your silence makes others uncomfortable now. Chosen one, listen carefully because Archangel Michael says this next truth explains why so many relationships around you suddenly feel different. You changed spiritually, and not everyone is comfortable with that change. At first, you thought maybe you were overthinking. Maybe you were imagining the distance. Maybe you were becoming too sensitive. But Michael says your spirit was actually recognizing something real. Some people connected deeply with the old version of you, but they cannot connect with the person you are becoming now. Because the old version of you tolerated things the new version no longer accepts. You used to ignore disrespect just to keep peace. You used to overextend yourself emotionally for people who gave little back. You used to explain your heart repeatedly to people committed to misunderstanding you. But heaven changed something inside you. Now your spirit notices imbalance immediately. Now your peace matters more than approval. Now your silence speaks louder than emotional reactions. And that shift changed your entire atmosphere. Chosen one, people can feel when someone spiritually outgrows a cycle. Even if they never say it directly. Michael says your energy became harder to control. Your calmness became harder to disturb. And people who once understood how to manipulate your emotions now feel disconnected from you. That is why certain relationships suddenly feel uncomfortable. Not because you hate anyone, not because you became arrogant, but because your soul no longer feels safe inside environments filled with confusion and emotional heaviness. Archangel Michael says, "Your spirit is learning to choose alignment over attachment." That sentence is important, because many chosen ones stay trapped in painful cycles simply because they fear separation. They keep holding on to people who drain them emotionally because they are afraid of being alone. But heaven says loneliness is temporary. Spiritual destruction lasts much longer. Chosen one, there are people who only felt comfortable around you when you were emotionally exhausted, insecure, or constantly seeking approval. Your healing changed the relationship because your healing removed their access to controlling your emotions. And now your silence bothers them. Your boundaries bother them. Your distance bothers them. Your peace bothers them, because they no longer recognize the version of you they once had access to. Michael says, do not feel guilty for protecting your spirit in this season. You prayed for peace. You prayed for discernment. You prayed for healing. Now heaven is answering those prayers through separation, wisdom, and emotional clarity. But many chosen ones become confused during this stage because they mistake spiritual growth for loneliness. Listen carefully tonight. You are not losing everyone. You are simply losing connections that no longer align with your future. Some people were assignments. Some people were lessons. Some people were temporary chapters. Not everyone was meant to walk beside you forever. And Archangel Michael says heaven has been removing hidden distractions from your path because your next season requires emotional focus. There are blessings approaching your life that cannot grow inside constant confusion. That is why God has been teaching you silence. Chosen one, your silence now carries authority. Before, silence felt painful because you stayed quiet out of fear. Now silence feels powerful because you stay quiet out of wisdom. That is growth. Michael says, you no longer need to attend every argument you are invited into. Read that carefully inside your spirit. Not every accusation deserves your defense. Not every misunderstanding deserves your explanation. Not every negative opinion deserves your emotional energy. Some people secretly want access to your reactions because reactions give them control over your peace. But heaven is teaching you emotional discipline. And emotional discipline is dangerous to darkness. Because when a chosen one learns calmness, manipulation begins failing. Chosen one, think about how much you have changed recently. You recover differently now. You think differently now. You protect your energy differently now. Things that once destroyed your peace for weeks no longer control your spirit the same way. That is evidence of healing. Archangel Michael says heaven has been rebuilding your inner world slowly, even during the moments you thought nothing was changing. Every painful lesson strengthened your discernment. Every disappointment increased your wisdom. Every lonely season deepened your connection with God. Nothing was wasted. Even the heartbreak carried purpose. Even the rejection carried protection. Even the delay carried hidden guidance. Chosen one, your breakthrough is closer than you realize. But before heaven fully opens the next door, God is making sure your spirit no longer depends on unhealthy attachment, emotional validation, or constant approval from people. Because where you are going next requires spiritual maturity. Michael says some doors will open suddenly in this next season. Unexpected opportunities. Unexpected peace, unexpected clarity. But the greatest blessing will not simply be external success. It will be internal freedom. Freedom from emotional chaos. Freedom from overthinking. Freedom from constantly carrying the emotional weight of others. And that freedom begins with separation. Chosen one, hear this carefully before this part ends. If certain people suddenly feel distant, let them go peacefully. If certain environments no longer feel aligned, trust your spirit. If God keeps pulling you towards silence, stop resisting it. Because heaven is not isolating you to punish you. Heaven is separating you to prepare you. And in part 4, Archangel Michael will reveal the hidden reason chosen ones feel spiritually exhausted before a major life shift, and the powerful sign that heaven is already moving behind the scenes in your favor. Chosen one, Archangel Michael says the exhaustion you have been feeling lately is not only physical. Your spirit has been carrying pressure silently. And the reason this season feels so heavy is because heaven is preparing to shift something major in your life. Listen carefully. Many chosen ones become confused during spiritual transformation because they expect breakthroughs to feel exciting immediately. But Michael says before elevation comes stretching, and before clarity comes separation. That stretching is what you are feeling now. You may notice yourself becoming emotionally tired faster than before. Loud environments drain you. Small conversations feel overwhelming. Even being around certain people suddenly exhausts your spirit. And part of you keeps asking, why am I feeling like this? Michael says your soul is changing. You are no longer comfortable carrying energy that does not align with your future. That is why fake conversations disturb your peace now. That is why drama feels heavier. That is why your spirit craves silence more than attention. Chosen one, this is not weakness. This is discernment. Archangel Michael says heaven has been protecting you quietly from things you never fully saw. Some people smiled around you while secretly draining your energy. Some opportunities looked perfect but would have delayed your destiny completely. And because heaven saw the full picture, certain doors closed unexpectedly. Some relationships changed suddenly. Some plans failed without explanation. Some people walked away quietly. But Michael says, protection often feels painful at first, because your spirit mourns what your destiny can no longer carry. Chosen one, hear this carefully tonight. The enemy becomes nervous when a chosen one begins healing emotionally. He notices when your reactions change. He notices when your peace becomes stronger. He notices when old manipulations stop working. So the pressure increases before breakthrough. Overthinking increases. Distractions increase. Emotional heaviness increases. But Michael says this pressure is temporary. Darkness attacks hardest when it senses freedom is getting close. That is why you must protect your peace in this season more than ever before. Do not react to everything. Do not chase every explanation. Do not return to environments heaven already removed you from, because some battles are distractions designed to delay your growth. Chosen one, your silence has become powerful now. Before, people could easily pull emotional reactions out of you. Anger, frustration, over-explaining. But heaven taught you calmness. And calmness broke the cycle. Michael says, a peaceful spirit cannot be controlled easily. That is why your silence makes certain people uncomfortable now. They no longer understand you the way they once did. But do not feel guilty for changing. You prayed for healing. You prayed for peace. You prayed for growth. Now heaven is answering those prayers through wisdom and separation. Chosen one, something is shifting behind the scenes already. You may not fully see it yet, but heaven is aligning new doors, new opportunities, and new peace for your future. The delays were not punishment. The waiting carried purpose. And one day soon, everything you survived will finally make sense. Before this part ends, Archangel Michael wants you to remember this. Do not return to chaos simply because peace feels unfamiliar. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. And in part 5, Michael will reveal the powerful signs that your breakthrough is finally getting close, and why the enemy becomes most aggressive right before God changes everything. Chosen one, Archangel Michael says, if you have made it this far into this message, there is a reason. Your spirit was meant to hear this tonight, because the season you are currently walking through is not the end of your story. Even though the pressure has felt heavy, even though the silence has felt lonely, heaven says your breakthrough is closer than you realize. Listen carefully. One of the biggest signs that God is preparing to change your life is spiritual separation. Before elevation, distractions begin leaving. Before clarity, confusion gets exposed. Before peace arrives, hidden chaos becomes visible. And that is exactly what has been happening around you. Michael says the reason certain people suddenly changed toward you is because your spirit changed first. Your energy shifted. Your discernment increased. Your soul stopped settling for environments that constantly drained your peace. You are no longer the same person emotionally, and heaven is proud of that growth. Chosen one, think about how much you have survived already. Moments that almost broke you, nights filled with overthinking, disappointments nobody fully understood. Battles you fought silently while still trying to smile for everyone else. But somehow you are still here. And Michael says that is proof heaven has been protecting you this entire time. There were moments you thought you were alone, but God was covering you quietly. There were situations that could have destroyed your spirit completely, but heaven stepped in before things became worse. Some doors closed to protect you. Some delays redirected you. Some separations saved your future. Nothing was random. Chosen one, the enemy wanted exhaustion to convince you that God forgot about you. He wanted emotional heaviness to make you lose hope before your new season arrived. But Michael says, do not quit during the transition, because breakthrough often arrives after the hardest spiritual battles. Right now, heaven is rebuilding your confidence, your discernment, and your peace from the inside out. God is teaching you how to protect your spirit instead of constantly sacrificing it for others. And that lesson will change your entire life. Listen carefully to this next part. Your calmness is becoming your strength now. The old version of you reacted emotionally to everything, but the new version pauses before speaking. The new version walks away from chaos. The new version chooses peace over pride. That is transformation. Michael says your silence has become dangerous to darkness because silence breaks manipulation. When you stop reacting emotionally, confusion loses power over your spirit. And that is why heaven keeps pulling you toward peace. Chosen one, something beautiful is approaching your life now. New alignment, new clarity, new opportunities, new spiritual strength. The loneliness will not last forever. The heaviness will not last forever. The confusion will not last forever. Michael says this season was necessary because your spirit needed preparation before receiving what heaven is about to place in your hands. One day soon, you will understand why certain people had to leave. You will understand why certain doors stayed closed. You will understand why God separated you from environments that once felt comfortable. Because where heaven is taking you next, chaos cannot follow. Chosen one, hear this carefully before this message ends. Do not lose your peace trying to explain yourself to everyone. Do not return to places God already removed you from. Do not lower your spirit just because others are uncomfortable with your growth. You have changed for a reason. Archangel Michael says, stay aligned, stay peaceful, stay close to God's voice even when the world becomes loud again. And if this message reached your spirit exactly when you needed it, that was not coincidence. That was confirmation. Before you leave, type Amen in the comments if you feel Archangel Michael brought you here for a reason tonight. And if this message touched your heart, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this message with someone who may need this reminder right now. Chosen one, your breakthrough is closer than you think.